Supply and demand. This is a basic economic principle that pretty much any product, including psychoactive substances on the legal markets, does follow. So, what is it? The idea of supply and demand is that when there's a large supply and there's a low demand, the cost for that product is ultimately low. There's more supply than there is demand, so the cost needs to be low in order for the supply to be purchased. Alternatively, if there is a low supply and a high demand, this typically means that there's a high cost for the product because the demand outweighs the supply of the product that's available to the consumer. And in a natural state, they end up forming an equilibrium where demand and supply find this kind of comfort zone where they meet each other. The cost is such that demand doesn't increase or decrease very much, and that the supply stays relatively constant, and that there's not much fluctuations. But what we want to do in public health, particularly with psychoactive substances, is change this equation. And actually, what we want to do is make this equation completely irrelevant. By artificially changing the cost, we can increase the price of a product, whether it's tobacco, alcohol, now we're talking about marijuana, whether it's illicit substances, regardless of the supply, regardless of the demand for that product. So through these cost control measures, whether it's taxes or other price measures, which we'll talk about in other videos, we can actually make this equation completely irrelevant for psychoactive substances and ultimately reduce use and reduce the consequences of use regardless of the supply and regardless of the demand for that product. And again, this could occur at either a very low supply level, a very high supply level. This can occur for a very low demand level or a very high demand level.